गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। सो आज का हमारा जो टॉपिक है जिसके ऊपर हम डिस्कशन करने वाले हैं दैट इज़ एडवांटेजेस एंड डिसएडवांटेजेस ऑफ जीएसटी। इंडिया में जीएसटी इंट्रोड्यूस किस पर्पज से इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने किया और उसकी क्या एडवांटेजेस और डिसएडवांटेजेस हैं, वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस ऑन इट, right? So before we move to the advantages and disadvantages of GST, first of all we will make a comparative analysis of GST in India versus GST in other countries. So we all know that the main purpose of Indian government is to introduce GST in India is to reduce the corruption and to make easy the movement of goods and services from one state to another. In India, it was implemented in 2017, but France was the first country to implement GST to reduce the tax evasion. Since then, 160 countries are implementing GST in their economy to reduce the tax evasion and to raise the collection of tax revenues. So some countries are following the dual GST model which includes Canada as well as India. इंडिया में जो हमारा GST मॉडल है ये सिमिलर टू द कैनेडियन डुअल GST मॉडल है. So when we make the comparison of Indian GST with other countries, we came to know that in India the name of the goods and service tax is GST or goods and service tax. But in Canada, it is known as a federal goods and service tax. In UK, it is called as a value added tax, and again in Singapore, it is called as a goods and service tax. If we talk about the standard rates, in India, we are having the 4-tier tax slab rates, which are 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%, and some cesses are imposed on the luxury items. While in case of Canada, the GST rate is 5% and HST varies from 0 to 15% depending upon the category of the goods. For UK, the rate of GST varies from 5% to 28%, and again it depends on the category of goods and services we are dealing in, and the general rate of tax is 18%. And in Singapore we have only one rate of tax, that is the 7% standard GST rate. So with this comparison we can see that in India we are having 4 tax slab rates, while in other countries like Canada, in UK, in Singapore we are having 1 tax slab rate or 2 tax slab rates. तो रीज़न इसका क्या था वो मैंने अपनी लास्ट वीडियो में आपसे शेयर किया था कि इंडिया में हम लोग एक अनइक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ इनकम रहता है हमारा, तो उस वजह से इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने जीएसटी को 4 टैक्स स्लैब रेट्स में अडॉप्ट किया. सो द थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट इन इंडिया इज 40 lakh एंड इट इज 20 lakh फॉर द बिजनेस हाउसेज विच आर इन नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स. In Canada, it is 30,000 Canadian dollar. In UK, it is 85,000 pounds, and for Singapore, it is $1 million. In India, we follow accrual basis method for the calculation of liability related with GST. For Canada, again we follow the accrual basis, right? For UK and Singapore, we can follow both the accrual basis as well as the cash basis for the purpose of calculation of liability for GST. Related with the returns, in India we follow monthly and quarterly returns and one annual return. For Canada, again it is monthly and quarterly returns and one annual return. For UK and Singapore, it is quarterly returns, and for small business houses it is optional to file the annual return. रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म RCM. रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म होता क्या है कि रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म में जो टैक्स पे करने की लाइबिलिटी है वो रिवर्स कर दी जाती है किसके ऊपर, रिसिपिएंट के ऊपर. लाइक वी नो दैट इन केस ऑफ सेल्स टैक्स जो सेलर है वो कस्टमर से सेल्स टैक्स कलेक्ट करता है और गवर्नमेंट को पे करता है. लेकिन जीएसटी में जो रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म हम अप्लाई करते हैं वहां पर टैक्स लाइबिलिटी पे करने की जो लाइबिलिटी है उसको हम रिवर्स कर सकते हैं रिसिपिएंट ऑफ गुड्स के ऊपर. सो इन इंडिया इट अप्लाइज ऑन गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. इन कनाडा it is applied on goods and services and on intangible properties. Again in UK it is applicable on goods and services, and in case of Singapore reverse charge applies to the supply of services only. हम goods के केस में RCM अप्लाई नहीं करते हैं in Singapore. So if we make the comparison with Australia, in Australia GST is also known as the federal tax and it is collected by Australian tax office and then it is distributed among the state. In 2000 Australia introduced GST first time. In Australia the current rate of tax is 10%. Some goods such as food, healthcare, housing items, they are having exemption from this rate of tax. Now, if we talk about the United Kingdom, in United Kingdom, it was introduced in 1973, and in UK, we have seen that the applicable rate is ranging from 5% to 28%. Depending upon the category of goods. Now for China. In China, the GST was implemented in 1984. The standard rate of GST in China is 13% and there are two reduced rate of VAT which are also applicable. One is 9% for which we can have the list of goods like retail business houses, entertainment, hotel, restaurant, and for 6% supply which is applicable to finance, which is applicable to the services and insurance, right? So for Indonesia the applicable rate is 11%. It was introduced in 1985 and the applicable rate is 11%, which is applicable from April 2022, right? And in case of France the standard rate is 20% and there are two reduced rates applicable. One is 10% for restaurant, construction or farming businesses. Another rate is 5.5% which is applicable to food, gas or electricity, and one more limit that is 2.1. It is also called as the super reduced rate. Super reduced rate is applicable to some medicines or newspapers. Then what are the various benefits that we can have in Indian economy when we are applying goods and service tax? So the first benefit is that it is very easy to apply. All the taxpayers can have all the facilities related with the registration, related with the returns, related with the payment of taxes. All these are available online. अब पहले क्या होता था कि टैक्सेस को पे करना, रिटर्न फाइल करना, ये सब कुछ मैनुअली था, मैनुअली ऑफिसेज में विजिट करना. लेकिन अभी ये सारी चीज़ें, रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर भी आप ऑनलाइन ले सकते हो, रिटर्न्स आप ऑनलाइन फाइल कर सकते हो, इवन आप टैक्सेस की पेमेंट्स भी ऑनलाइन कर सकते हो. सो इट हैज़ मेड ईच एंड एवरीथिंग very easy and transparent. Now the second benefit of GST to the Indian economy is that it will ensure that all the indirect tax rates and structures are common across the country. Before the implementation of GST क्या था कि टैक्स रेट चेंज हो जाते थे. लाइक वैट है तो एक पर्टिकुलर स्टेट में इट वॉज 12% और दूसरी स्टेट में इट वॉज 14%, तो वो चेंज हो जाते थे. बट नाउ GST हैज brought the uniformity of tax rate and structures all over the country. Then the third benefit is that it has removed the cascading effect. Earlier, there were chances of double taxation that was making goods costlier. Now, it has removed that cascading effect because GST is the destination based tax. So हम इसको हर एक स्टेज पे अप्लाई ना करके फाइनल जो प्लेस ऑफ कंजम्पशन है वहां पर अप्लाई करते हैं. So that is why it has reduced the cascading effect. Then gain to the manufacturer and exporters. Now, when the Indian government is providing the ITC facility to the small taxpayers or to the GST registered persons or taxpayers, in that case they are able to make the adjustment of their input taxes out of the output taxes. So for that purpose they are saving their taxes, they are reducing the tax burden, and they are moving for the expansions. So it is very useful or gainful to the manufacturer or the exporters because it is increasing their exports as well as their production. Then simple and easy to administer. GST would be simpler and easy to administer than all other indirect taxes of the center and state levied so far. Earlier जितने भी हमारे सेंटर के, जैसे हम लोगों ने किया सेल्स टैक्स, सर्विस टैक्स सेंटर के थे, एंट्री टैक्स स्टेट्स का था, तो उसमें बड़ी सारी कंप्लायंसेस थी, वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू ऑपरेट, उनकी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन काफी डिफिकल्ट थी. बट नाउ जीएसटी हैज मेड इट सिंपल एंड इजी. So the another benefit is that the relief in the overall tax burden. So when government is providing ITC feature to GST, it has reduced the tax burden and giving more relief to the taxpayers. But still there are some disadvantages of GST. The first main disadvantage of GST is that it compels the businesses to convert their present accounting software to ERP or GST compliant software. Earlier क्या था कि जो businesses हैं, जो businessman हैं, वो अपने records को manually maintain कर सकते थे. Now GST में जो हमने एक compliances लिया, एक IT support लिया, उसकी वजह से now every businessman is required to have certain kind of ERP or the GST compliance software with which they can make the entries related with their purchases or their sales. So अब जब उनको ये सॉफ्टवेयर बाय करना पड़ेगा, there is need of some professionals, tax professionals की ज़रूरत है. They are required to hire the tax professionals. अब tax professionals को hire करना भी एक बार expensive होगा. सॉफ्टवेयर्स के साथ बिजनेस रिकॉर्ड्स को मेंटेन करना भी expensive होगा. So in this way it has created certain limitations for the small business houses or for those taxpayers who are not aware about the softwares, who are not aware about the ITs. So it will create certain kind of financial burden to the business organizations. So with this I am going to leave now. So in case of any doubt, if you are having, you can send me a message through my mail ID which you can see on the screen. Thank you so much.